This is at 8:55 p.m. on March 1st. I went outside for something and I heard it raining. Yeah, I'm over here. Where's St. Louis? I can't see. I'm over here. Yeah. Looks like there's some ice and snow north of St. Louis, northwest. I say north and northwest. But it's just raining around me, so I should be okay. I don't think my rain gauge will freeze because I got it open. Yeah, I didn't even think there was any rain in the forecast for tonight, but it was raining, so I came out and checked. Yeah. It looks like this might be going that way. Let me check something first. This was the past, coming up to a present. Now it's future cast. Yeah. At least I'll be missing the snow. Might be a little ice in there, but not much. It's just barely above 30 at 9:30 a.m. and everything's wet. Rain last night, a little bit. I'll go and check the rain gauge. It's still below freezing. It's right around freezing, and hopefully my rain gauge didn't break. It rained last night, about 3/8. Yeah, that's better than nothing. Yeah, and it's cold now, but it didn't freeze. I guess it was hovering around freezing last night and now, but it's not frozen. And I'm gonna leave it in there because it might rain some more today or tonight. I want to see how much it gets. And the nighttime temperatures are all going to be above freezing for another week or so. So I think this will be safe. I want to see how much I collect during the week. I might dump it later on. Who knows? I just saw that young white bull chasing this old heifer. The light brown one. Until that mean young one there chased him away. Wonder where the other bull is. Well, I'm glad he's trying. At least he's trying. He got chased away by this one though. I don't like that. I'm gonna have to pan her up, keep her from interfering. But we'll see what happens in the future. Boy, that wind is cold. It's blowing in from this direction, right at me, from the northeast. It's cold, but it's supposed to warm up. I don't think I want to. Ground's damp after that rain. Yeah, I don't think I want to go to the farm and start trimming the trees when it's wet like this and cold. Too wet for the truck, I think, and it's too cold for me. So I'm still looking for that tool, the cutting tool. I found some pictures. Oh, there's a woodpecker eating corn. I thought they're insect eaters. Huh. Anyway, that cutting tool, I found some pictures of it on the back of my truck. The last two that I can remember was from November 9th last year, and then November 14. Yeah. November 9th was when I was cutting that hollow sycamore tree down. Hollow sassafras tree down by the pond at the big pasture to straighten out where I drive the truck going around the pond. It was on the back of the truck then, and then again on November 14, I was picking pears here. Yeah, I had the truck here, and the thing was still on the back of the truck then. That's the last time I saw it on the picture, in the photo. Yeah, so if I unloaded it to do something, yeah, not long after that, I unloaded it somewhere. And if I unloaded it, it would be right behind the truck, under the carport. So I don't know what I did with it. If I took it someplace and left it there, I can't remember where it was. But I'll keep looking for it. I hope I find it. I need it for the trimming. Makes the work a lot easier. These butt heads with the other two are just standing there. Oh, there's that other cat. You coming over here to get some food? It's okay with me. I don't know if it saw me yet. Usually runs away. Look at that. What's going on? Anyway, I'm glad that bull is getting it. Oh no, it saw me. Hi, kitty. Getting the courage to approach those cows. I guess I'll go ahead and let that cat eat something. I can't remember how many times I've looked through here looking for that pruning tool, shears, what do they call it. The last time I saw it on the photo is on the back of this truck out in the big pasture by the pond. I was cutting this tree down, or I had just cut this tree down, I think, and I was getting ready to cut some more, I guess, because this was on the back of the truck, if I remember right, along with some tools and that tool. So I know that I didn't know that if I took these two off to clear the truck off, I would have taken that tool off with it. I just couldn't think of where it is. Today I did a more thorough check everywhere. So I estimated that, well, let's narrow it down here. I know when I took that off, I also took off the chainsaw gas and oil, gas and chain bar oil. So if I took it off, I would have put it somewhere there. So that's where I usually put stuff when I unload it, unless it's got a specific place. So I started thinking, well, if I laid it here somewhere and I don't see it, it must be hidden. So I started looking closer. I said, well, if I put it there temporarily, then maybe it fell down in here. No, it didn't fall in there. But looking, lo and behold, there it is. There's my tool. Not a very good place to keep it. At least I didn't lose it. I just misplaced it. Alright, let's get it out of there. Now I can go over to the farm. Just if I can't work on them trees, at least I can look at them. I'm thinking that's where I might have laid it. And then when I was doing something else, I must have bumped it. And it fell through. But I found it. A little reminiscing through the old photos. showed me where I saw it last in photos, and then I tried to retrace my steps. I had to take this off, plus those hollow sassafras log, and I just said, well, must be here somewhere, and that's when I found it. I don't know what possessed me to think to looking down in there, but I did, just to be sure. Anyway, now the tree trimming will be a little easier. I'm taking a few boards along with me in case I want to back into the pear tree area at the farm. And I'll use these, I'll put a board on each side to drive over the barbed wire fence after I lay it on the ground. That's if I'm going to do anything over there. I'm just going to take a look. Now that I got my good tool for trimming, yeah, the last few days looking for that thing, I was sure getting upset because I couldn't find it. I was more mad at myself for not putting it in a more visible place. But that's because I'm not very organized here with my tools and all my stuff. Yeah, well, oh well, it happens. And I'm just glad I found it. Yeah, that works good for smaller branches. But now, for the big ones, I still have to use my hand saws. But this works pretty good on most of them, but they're not too big. I can fit around a pretty good sized branch, but if it's too thick, it's hard to cut it, that's all. But I sure like to have it. It comes in handy. Saves time too, because if I cut the small branches with the saw, it's so hard. I have to hold the branch with the saw with one hand and saw it with the other hand, because it wiggles around too much. I can't get a good cut. But this, it's so quick and clean. Old saying goes, I'm back in business now of trimming trees. Here's a little review of what I cut yesterday. I cut that one yesterday and all that. And the day before that, I cut that one. Those two are done. I cut over half off, I think. They'll still produce some pears this summer. And they'll be easier to pick too. But also this summer, the tops of the branches will all sprout out new growth during the summer. And I'll just let it grow. Okay, let's go over to the farm and check out the pears over there. Go through the water there. And I don't think it was the wind. I think it was fish. Yeah. It's a shallow pond though. Yeah. Pretty clear now. So, okay, I can go to the farm. There's those two young bulls. Yeah, I saw you trying to ride that old heifer, but that younger cow, she pushed you out of the way. Don't worry, you'll get big. You're already pretty tall. I think you can do the job. You just gotta give a chance. The other cow's gotta give you a chance. Yeah. Some might say that's a severe pruning, but I had to. It was just, those branches were just too tall, way too tall. Couldn't harvest the pears from up there anyway, so I might as well shorten it so I can get an easier picking. Okay, I got all my tools now, and I'm headed to the farm to take a look at the pears and maybe do some trimming there too. A little chilly today, overcast, a slight wind. It's cold. I thought it was supposed to be warmer today, but it keeps forecasting warmer weather, but I think it's not getting here yet. Maybe tomorrow. And away I go. That's where I'm headed, to the pear orchard. Brother's house is over there. Little brother. And he's got 5 acres on that corner there. I think just before just below past the pond dam is his boundary, I think. Yeah. And then that's my niece's, my youngest sister's oldest daughter. They got 5 acres over there. They split off those 5 acres. They bought that 5 acres. My brother, I guess it was just somehow he talked the rest of the family into just giving it to him. Okay, and then that's my parents' house. I think it was built in '53, because in '54, when I was born, or when I was maybe a year old, that house had just been finished, because there were no sidewalks. There were just boards for sidewalks at that time. I remember seeing a picture. And that's a machine shed my dad had built. Don't know when. And that's a pig shed that he had built, but he built that concrete thing there right after he built it. It destroyed the use of being able to drive there with a manure spreader and load up because it's supposed to be a farrowing shed for sows, but that's when I gave up the hog business with him, because he just made the work harder. He built that concrete thing there to put sows in, but there was no way to access the other sows inside to clean the manure out without, except for using a wheelbarrow to load up the manure and haul it to the door. And I says, I'm not doing that. I was supposed to be able to drive, because all the neighbors have farrowing sheds, and that's how they do it. The south side, where the light shines in, is clear. They drive along there with their manure spreader and just load up their things, their manure in the manure spreader. But Dad ruined it with that. Anyway, I'm guessing my brother Robert, he's going to have all this wheat fields for clover. I don't know what. I think he's got the whole side there. Whether he's going to do it all, I don't think so, because my brother don't rent the ground for his hay. He's got a deal with the neighbor who does rent it. That whenever the renter plants wheat, my brother plants clover in some of it, at least some of it. And then I guess they split the hay. I guess, even though the renter's still paying the rent, not my brother. That's what I understand anyway, but that's just the way it is. It's none of my business, I guess, how they work it out. All I know is I pay rent for the 20 acres I use for hay, and that's all I need to care about. Okay, let's head over there and see if I can prune a few of those pears. At least get started. It's my youngest sister's house, and I think, yeah, they got 5 acres there too. It comes this way a little bit, and then it goes all the way to the hayfield that I rent, and it ends somewhere where those, from here over, and then back that way. And then my sister-in-law lives there because my brother got 2 acres there. How he got it, my parents were still alive and still at home. Yeah, one day I was, that used to be a pasture there. That used to be a pasture for cattle all the way around this corner. Not here, I don't think, but over that way. Yeah. And then around there. Anyway, one day I saw that there was 4 flags out there, red flags, and I asked my dad what those flags were for, and he said, I don't know. He didn't know what they were, and then I found out later. Guess my mom knew about it. My older brother had staked out a claim to build a house there, and he did. So that's the way it goes. Our family don't communicate very much, but he did plant these pecans though. Yeah, I guess he planted them too. I'm not sure. I don't know. I may have planted those. I don't know who planted those cedars. But anyway, I'm thinking my brother didn't plant the cedars. I probably planted the cedars, but maybe not. Anyway, they got 2 acres there. That goes pretty far down. The edge is somewhere on that side of the boundary is somewhere on that side of the shed. Okay, let's go back to work. Time waits for no man. Time waits for no one. The brother who lives down the road. Hey! Door closed behind me. Wind blew it shut. I can hear his chickens in there. He's got chickens in that pit. I see them too. They're outside. Some of them are outside. He uses that for a chicken house. Now, home sweet home. When I was young, that room there, that was the garage. I built that chimney after I came back from the Navy because I bought a wood stove, and that's where I grew up, in that room there. With 2 brothers, the little brother that lives down the road, and another brother about 3 years younger than me. We had bunk beds in there. Yeah. My older brother and oh no, I'm wrong. My youngest brother, and the brother 14 months younger than me. That was our bedroom. Somebody's coming. And that garage, it used to be a garage when they first built the house, but ever since I can remember, they walled off the door. But there was, snow would blow in underneath from the concrete to the wall. Snow would blow underneath there. I remember that. And whenever Dad butchered a pig over at the old house, which is down the road, just there, kind of across by that pond, he used the old house's kitchen to butcher pigs. And after he was done over there, he had the halves, the pork halves, the halves of the pig. They started in our bedroom because it was cold enough to store meat in the wintertime. I don't think we had any heat in there, just a lot of blankets. But anyway, that's the way it is, or it was. My oldest brother, and the brother 3 years younger, they shared a bedroom inside the house. And my parents' room was over on this corner, and my 2 sisters had a bedroom on the other side, on that side, south side. And yeah, I remember my childhood very well. Okay, now I got to lower the fence all the way to the ground, put boards there so I can back across it. Where should I do that? Yeah, it's going to be hard to... Maybe I'll just pull it. Maybe that'd be better if I pull it. I'll go right here in the middle in front of this big tree. In front of there, yeah. Okay, let's set up the boards. I think I'm only going to need this board and that board. They're both too short to go across both tires. If I put one on one side and one on the other side, it should work. And it's wide enough to hold the fence down. I'm going to lower the fences down, and I'm going to put the boards on top. Then I'm going to drive over it. Yeah, my niece bought 5 acres over there before the farm was put into a trust after my mother died. And then, like I said, somehow my brother got 5 acres there because his house was there, and and, and he, I guess he didn't have his name on nothing over there. Plus, he was using the shed and that area there for his cattle operation for a lot of years. So I guess the rest of the family just decided to give it to him. I guess they didn't ask me though, but well, I didn't stop them. I don't care as long as they leave this part road. This is where the old house used to be. Yeah, right here. As long as he didn't get that, that belongs to the family. And since I don't have any kids, I guess it didn't really matter. Yeah, but these are my pears. These are my babies. I brought this orchard back to life. There used to be a pear tree there, but it's still there, the old one. And there was one over here somewhere right about here. But it died a long time ago. And I didn't want that pear to disappear. And when these sprouts started to come up, I thought, oh good, we're going to have more pears. But then they turned out to be the wild pear variety from the rootstock. So that's when I started grafting them. And I got 2 at my house. I transplanted. And I got some more here with the yellow poles on. I'm going to graft again. Because I want to expand this orchard. Somehow, my brother's got this fence set up so the cattle don't get into it. That's good, because they used to go in there and tear everything up. But since that's a wet spot through there, I'd like to extend this orchard all the way, at least 1 row of trees, all the way to that pole through there. So that means, I don't know, we had to leave an opening up there for the cattle to go in and out. Oh, I don't know, maybe not. Yeah. Maybe we just have to put this fence from there, put it over here. From there or there. And then leave all this area for an orchard. Yeah. For the family. Anyway, all I care about is the trees right here. Pear trees. They're my babies. Okay, let's drive in there and see what I'm going to do this big one first. Instead of just putting the insulators down with the post standing, I decided to pull the post out and lay, because the fence might be on and I didn't want to get shocked. So I left the insulators on and the post and the wire hooked up, and I just pulled the post out and laid them on the ground. And then I'm using the boards to cover up the barbed wire, because I don't want to run over barbed wire either. And I put it in 4-wheel drive because the ground is a little wet. So what I need to do is I'm going to pull in there. Yeah, I'm going to pull in there. It's going to be a tight fit. I should have brought the other ladder too. Oh well, too late. I won't be done today anyway. So I'm going to pull in there and then back out. Put it in 4-wheel drive so I won't get stuck. Now, most of the branches are on this side, so I'm going to... And but I'm going to have to get on this side too. Best way to do that is probably to back in from this side. But I'll do this first, and I'll see I cut them to those big. I think there's 2 or 3 big tall branches, so I'll cut them off first. Or no, I'll cut these off first, and then I'll work on those tall ones. And then I'll reposition my truck on this side and then cut the rest. Pond ends there because this used to all be underwater, or the water. The one used to go all up to there, but when my brother redid the pond, he ended it. He put a lot of extra dirt in here, but I guess he didn't get enough because it left a little swamp. But I think the pears would still grow. That's why I want to put pears in there. But that comes later. I got to get the family's permission first to redo this fence. Yeah, it'd be easier for the family to fish too. Maybe. These are the pear trees that I grafted. That one, that one, that one. That's the original pear tree, barely alive. There, there. And this was my first one. Yeah, I let this one grow up, thought it was going to have pears like the mama tree, but the pears came out to be little marble-sized pears, hard as a rock. They were the wild variety. So, that told me that the original tree was a grafted pear. My brother looked it up one time. He said it was called Winter Nellis, which to me were different than the pears you can buy in the store. The store pears are kind of soft and pear looking. These are different looking. They're still pears, but they're hard and crunchy, but really sweet. I like their texture. Anyway, that's why I wanted to save them. Because they were here, probably here, either planted by my grandfather or they were here when my grandfather bought the farm back in the early 1900s. Anyway, let's see what I can do with this. Those yellow poles mark where I got those two. I can graft this year, probably in April, when they start budding, when the sap starts flowing better. Yeah. But these I'm going to have them all cut off eventually. These got way too tall, just like the ones I have. I pruned mine last winter. This year I'm doing these. I hear my brother's dog. So maybe my brother's outside somewhere. I don't see him. Cattle are going to that side. Oh, well, doesn't matter. I'm still doing my work here. Okay, we can prune that down a little bit. Hard to see the tree because of that big oak behind it. I don't see my brother anywhere. He should be at work anyway. He hasn't. I think he's going to retire this year or next year. I'm not sure. I think he's old enough to retire. He's about 6 years younger than me. And I retired at 66. So my brother should be 66 this year, I think. Anyway, that's none of my business. Anyway, let's get to work. Old mama tree grows out from the root there. And all these are connected to her by the roots. Yeah. And when she started to die, she started to get old, and I think it went this before. I think it was before she fell over. I call her a she because she's the mama tree. There's some of the old pears that were left on. They were small, nobody wanted them, I guess. They were still good though. I ate some of them. Anyway, all that's left is a thin layer of bark, but it's still growing. I'm gonna prune it back too, and I gotta get that viney thing out of there. Can't let it take over again. And these are all connected by the roots And they all start, when she started to die, it all started to come up. Yeah. I had a few more that I was going to prune, graft out there, but my brother mowed them all down one year. That's when I started marking them. I started marking them so they wouldn't bother them. Anyway, let's get busy on that one. Too many limbs in the way to get on the back, so I'm going to get on the side with my ladder. Here's my tool I just found today that was been missing for a while. Yeah, I can cut these off, most of these off, but that tall. But that one there, I think those three bigger ones, I'll need to saw. Yeah, I'm gonna, I'll just dump on the ground where they want it. When I'm done, I want to pile them all over there and burn it someday. Yeah, I'll get them out of the way. Okay, let's start cutting. I got a few cut back. I'll have to back up to that later. And I got to get on the other side of that too. But I think I can get that big one out. And that one there is broke. Right there, it's broken in the middle. I'm gonna have to get on the other side to get that one. Those two. Let me get that big one out first. Cold. Wind blowing in from the east, northeast, right? You can see the leaves. Oh, is it cold? I didn't dress warm enough. I thought it was gonna warm up a little bit today. Anyway, I'm almost cut through this big one. I can film it cutting it. There it goes. There it goes. Oh, it didn't hurt my little tree. That's good. That's good. That one's cut. See if I can cut that one out. I need to cut that one out down here because it's broke. And I might be able to cut that one too from up here. Yeah, looks like my younger brother came home and niece came home too. Big one's down. See what cuts that one out. And maybe that one too. Oh, that one I can cut with my shears. That one's too big. Over here. I'll cut that out now. Yeah, she's home for something. I changed my mind. I can't saw them. I have to. Shut up, cow. Anyway, I got to get on the other side there to cut those. And here too. This here I can back in from there. But these, I don't know if I can go. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I'll pull out and back in through here. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Okay, I got the right side. I let them stick out a little longer than they usually do, but that's okay. They'll make more branches on the end. But now I got to back in to there on an angle because I got to miss that yellow pole. Because I ain't gonna move my boards. Yeah, I think I can do it. Yeah, I just got to stay this side of that yellow pole. I think. Which side do I want? I gotta look. Yeah, I want this side. going. Oh boy, good thing I repositioned my truck, because I was getting ready to, I was just going by the yellow pole, but I forgot the little tree is on this side of that yellow pole. I almost ran it over. So I'm glad I saw it. Okay, now I can back up. I moved out a little bit. The little tree is right there. I can't graft it this year, it's too skinny. But I'll wait a few years. I needed to put another pole on the other side so I don't hit it sometime. Okay, let's get up here and trim some more. Now these two, they're big enough. That's the size I like right there. That one's a little bit too thick, but I'll find something that's the same. I need to find something the same size, so when I splice them together, join them, what I do, I make a V in one and I sharpen the other one to a point on two sides, and I slide them together. I want them the same size, the cutting that I cut off the mama tree. See, I could take a whole branch there if I wanted to somewhere. Yeah. But up here, see? Yeah. Anyway, I need something the same thickness as that and the same thickness as that. That's how I graft them. I know there's lots of ways to graft, but that's how I do it. Yeah. I got half of it done. I left that one limb a little bit taller because it had lots of buds on it. Yeah. I got one little thing sticking up. I guess it won't hurt nothing. I can always trim it again in a couple years. It'll be easier to trim each time though, since all the branches will be smaller. But now I got to cut those bigger ones out up here. Yeah, and some of these on here side. Thought it hurt. Thought I felt a few drops. Anyway, I'm gonna cut these low ones out first. You can see where a limb was brushing against that one, because when they had pears on them, they were all in it. That's why I got to cut them off because it was too long, and they get pears on the ends. See, all those would probably make pears. It would just hang down. So yeah, that's why all these are all bent down. I'm gonna cut these off first. Clear zone. See, that branch broke off there, but see how it broke off? That's a good example. It's just like me cutting it off. But since it was broke off, all the energy from the tree went out to the little buds on the side there, those greenish ones. That's a small one too. It'll be a couple years, or at least next year, before I can graft it. It needs to be big enough to hold up, to cut into. Yeah, there's not much wood to cut into, because the connection is actually from the bark to the bark, the live bark. So I got to make sure there's enough wood to hold it together. Oh, I was going to cut this off right about here because of this break, but I can always do it next year. I want to see what develops on these new branches I grew last year. Anyway, I got a few more to cut here, and then I got one more big one. I'll leave these a little bit longer because they got lots of buds on them, which means they might have more pears. Yeah. And I got this one here. I'm going to cut it off up there somewhere. I use that ladder to cut it off. But even with that one there, somewhere up there. I hear a train to the east. There's 3 railroad crossings there that I know of. One on the highway and 2 on the roads to small towns. Small roads. County roads. Okay, let's finish cutting here. I'm almost done. Limbs like this is what that's good for. Even that big one up there I can cut. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I found it. If I had to cut all these with a saw, it'd be hard. That makes it a lot easier. Last one to cut with that. I'm almost through. And I can hear the rain and I can feel it. So I better get going. I got get done here. Nice done. I gotta get up there and cut that one up there somewhere. Trimming these trees just in time because the buds are coming out. Here, here's one. They're already starting to bud out. Especially when the weather gets warmer, it's going to accelerate. Well, if I go over from there, I'm going to cut it right there. Yeah, I want to cut it right below that one going up. I want to cut it right below that. That'd be my last cut. Almost through. This one's hard because I gotta hold the branch. I gotta get this branch, push it out of the way with one hand, and try to saw that one with one hand. But then the tree kept moving back and forth, so it's hard to saw. But I'm getting there. I'm almost through. I have a nice view of that lake now. Or is it a pond? Well, it's cut off, but it got hung up. Now I gotta try to get it unhung. I could just cut that branch off, but I want to save it. I got mostly. I still got to. I'll pull it down from the ground. Still hung up. I'm done. That was a good pruner. I take care of that right there. Those limbs are crossing. But I'll worry about that next year. Yeah, I got to pull that one down. Okay, that's all done enough for me. I'm gonna leave this to. Yeah, I want to see what happens to those branches. Yeah. Since there's a crack there in that main limb, main branch. Okay, let's go. These are the branches I cut off, but we can see all the buds. Where there's a bud, they would have had blossoms on them, and they would have pears there. Yeah. But I'll sacrifice a few pears this year, or maybe more in the future. And easier to pick too. There's them birds. Where'd they go? I call them snipes. I don't know what their real names are. I guess that's not really raining now. Let me pick another tree to trim. Oh wait, I gotta pull that down yet. I hear them. Well, that tree's done. I should clean up this mess here. Before I cut any more. Let's do that. Done this, cleaning this up a little bit last fall. I got some more work to do to here. This is left over when they were digging the pond, I guess, these mounds here. Because there was too much brush here, I think. Yeah, it looks like somebody cut off a tree limb up there. It wasn't me. This whole tree is going to die since I rang it last last year while it was still alive, so none of the sap could come down to the root. That one too, and that one too, because they're sucking the energy out of the pears. Okay, I got a tree growing out. I got to cut that off before I can, and then I'll pull all the branches down there and I'll burn them sometime during the summer. I had to cut that branch. I must have cut it last year, and it's just so much stuff was on top of it I couldn't move it. But now I was able to just pick it up. I sawed it off over there. I had picked it up and threw it over here. Yeah, this will be grafting material sometime next year maybe. Those two I can graft probably in April. I'll just throw everything in there. I'll make a big pile here. This branches over to there. I'll move that brush pile over to there. And all the rest that I cut off, they're going to go in the same pile. But I ain't cutting these today. However, I think I will cut that one. Who's that? Who's that? Station wagon. Oh, that's Robert. That's my little brother. He just came home from work. I forgot he bought a car. And he must be, yeah, it's 3:30. So he must be working day shift. Anyway, back to work. I clean that up. Prune that tree. That'll be easier to pick this late summer, in the fall. Still got lots of buds on it. Yeah, I'll do these tall ones here some other day. If it's not too wet to get out here. So I got 1, 2, big one. This one's pretty big, but not too many. Not too many. I can just back up to these and get them. So they'll be pretty easy. There aren't that many branches on them. But this one here, I think I'll do today. Maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, I should do that one. Although I want to use that for grafting material for these two. So I'll leave something on there that I can use. How about that? I'll just use something. I'll leave what I need for them to. So I'm gonna prune that one back. I can do that from the ground. And I still want to transplant that if I can. It won't be easy to dig it up. I need a pretty good sized wood ball too. So I don't know where I'm going to put it though. I don't really want to take it home. Maybe I'll put it over there between them. Yeah, I'll put it over there. That's too close. That's just about right. Looks like the trunk there down there got damaged somehow. Look like it had some bark come off. But it is a pear tree, so, but the root is big. But it's not going to survive here very good because it's in the shadow of these other trees. So I'm gonna cut it off right here, pretty short, so it's easy to handle. And hopefully I can dig it up this spring. Here goes the mail carrier. Okay, yeah, I have to figure out how to transplant this one. Dig it up. Yeah, I'll just leave it here. Or I'll leave it in this area. And I think I'll transplant it over to that spot there. Yeah. That'll be a good place for it. Oh yeah, I have to move it so far. We're finished today. I want to cut some of them. I wonder, could I graft it now? No. Although it's supposed to it's going to warm up this week, so maybe I'll graft it today. Yeah, I got my knife with me. Let's see what I can do. I'm going to do that big one first. Harder to find a branch that big, so I'm going to cut it down. Oh, I don't have tape. Oh yeah, I got some black electrical tape. I guess I can use that. I usually use white, but I don't have any right now. I was going to stop at Lowe's and get some. Oh, well, I'll use black tape. Yeah, it's supposed to warm up tomorrow. It's supposed to warm up this week. Maybe even 60s and 70s. So, yeah, the sap might be flowing. It's kind of fat down here. I got to cut it right here. It'll give plenty of strength for the tree. Of course, the bigger the trunk, the harder it is to cut. Change of plans. My little box cutter blade's not strong enough to cut through that wood, so I'm going to use my bigger knife. See if I can cut it. Yeah, that's why I like to cut trees like this. That's the right size. See, you could tell this is from a wild. See how the short spike is there? Real sharp. Yeah, real sharp. That's from the root stock, the wild variety. Back to this. Wish I had a hammer. Oh, there's everything I should need. I used that part that I cut off of here to get the same size off the mama tree. I got my tape, and I got a rock for a hammer. Let's see what I can do. I didn't need that other piece. I threw it over there. I got this one. Yeah, now I gotta cut a piece off the mama tree that looks like this. Yeah, and then I'll stick it in there just like that one is, and then I'll tape it up. And the sap is on the edges, on the green part. Yeah, the sap will flow through that. Okay, let's get the piece I need from the mama tree before that dries out. Hard to find a piece that big. I thought about using that one, but it's kind of weird. But I think I want to use that piece up there. So I'm going to cut the whole thing off. And I'll fine tune the piece I need. I cut it off from up there. That's the piece I want. It's about the same size as the one I cut off from the recipient. Yeah, it's about the right size. Yeah, perfect. Now I just got to whittle it down to make it fit in the V that I made on the tree I'm going to graft. That's what I got to replicate. It's all blurry. Yeah, let me whittle it down. I can never get them perfect, but as long as I got these edges lined up where the sap is, yeah. All I can do is tape it up real tight, as tight as I can get it, because I want these pressed together. So when the sap flows, it'll flow from here up into here, and hopefully it'll sprout something. Hopefully. Time will tell. I'm a little early. I usually do this in April, but I think with the warm weather coming this week and next week, I think it'll be okay. Well, it's wrapped up. That's all I can do. Let's hope hope I get a sprout. Usually they sprout out to the top, but it could sprout out down here somewhere. Because there's some knobs here and here. I don't know what those are from, but anyway, that's the best I can do on this one. Let's do the other one. Well, that one's done. Time will tell if it's going to grow or not. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Before I do anything on this one, I'm going to cut it off up here somewhere, and then I'm going to match it to a donor, the graft that I'm going to take off the mama tree. I think I know the piece too. And I'm not going to use that big knife, I'm going to use that one. Cut what I need off the mama tree. I found this on the ground. Looks like the shell of a turtle, or a piece of it. And this here is the actual shell. And there's another crack. A separation. Yeah, turtle shell, I think. Pretty sure. Somewhat flat. I think it's from the edge. You can see it wraps around. It wraps around. There's part of the. Well, that's the bone, but that's the shell, the outer layer. Okay, go back to what I was doing. This is the top of the branch that I used for the other fat one, but I used the bottom part. And here, where'd it go? Oh, here it is. I thought I lost a piece. This is what I cut off the bottom. I need something about this size. See, it's got thorns on it. Oi! Don't go anywhere. That looks pretty close right there. Yeah. I'm gonna use that one. I'm gonna cut it right here. No, maybe I'll cut it down here. Maybe I'll cut it here. The further down it goes, it gets bigger. I want to keep some of these buds so they might sprout from there. Well, I cut it with this. I'm ready to take it out. It's still attached in the middle, bottom. Oh, it's not. It didn't come out the way I wanted. I gotta cut some more off of that. I gotta cut some more off of that one out. Almost, a little bit more. Yeah, just a little bit more cut off. That's close. Right there. Let me shove it in there. That's as close as I can get. I think that'll work. Oh, I got it taped up. I don't know if I really needed these, but they got little sprouts on them already, little buds on both of them. So I want to leave them. I want to see if they'll grow. If not, they'll sprout up here. I hope. Well, I'll wait and see if they take. All right, just like this tree here. See, wherever I cut it off last summer, I already got new growth. Yeah, but I'll probably trim them off later anyway. Backed up to the mama tree. I'm gonna cut some of them off now that I got those two grafted. My phone shut off because it was either too cold or low battery or both. So I'm warming it up in the truck, and I'm charging it at the same time. Turn on low battery, so I'm gonna trim these up. While I'm trimming it, I'll be charging the phone in the truck, inside the warm truck. I trimmed it back. I found something out though. I think this limb is still alive. And this one's alive on this side. And that one's alive, I think it's on the other side. So those two limbs were half alive. And this one is, I think those three sprouts there are still alive. I'll find out when they start leafing out. Look at the reflection on the pond. Look at that. Oh, if it's still alive, hopefully it'll sprout out some new branches. That's what I cut off of it. Well, that one was dead, mostly. Yeah, this is the only one that it's hard to tell. I think that one's dead here. That one I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure these are alive by the color. And that one. So there's some life left in this one. And this one here, are these two here? This one is only alive right here. I think that part's dead. This part was alive, so it might sprout something. And that one there looks like it's alive on that side. So we'll find out if it's still, if not, if it doesn't make it, if it doesn't, it won't produce no fruit because I'll probably pick them off. Just so it, there's not much left of it anyway. Yeah, all the branches I cut off were dead. There's another dead one I didn't get yet. I'll just leave it there for now. It's getting late. Look at all those trees. Reflections. All those here, I went ahead and trimmed this one up. That's good enough. I left that long branch there because there's lots of buds on that tip there. That might make some fruit. But this had some dead branches on it too. I trimmed some of these off. Okay, I can't reach them all. I need to back up to it this way. Yeah, I backed up here to get to this one. Nice reflection. Yeah. If it don't rain, I'll work on these tomorrow. I got that one to do, the rest of this one. And that one. I only got like 3 left. Oh. Yeah, 3 left. This one on here on the west side. This one's done. This one's half done, or partially done. And then that one. Okay, let's pack up and head home. That'll do for today. I got something done. I got that one trimmed. I left them branches stick out a little farther than I intended because they have lots of buds on them, which means buds means pears. I thought this one was more alive, but it's not. It's not doing too well. Hasn't been doing too well for a long time. That's why I started grafting the other ones. Once I found out these coming up here were from the rootstock from this grafted tree, the original. But I got some clones, I guess you could say. Yeah, I got 1, 2, 3 more trees. This one, that one's already started, and the one behind the truck, or other side of the truck. Okay, let's go home. There's the 2 trees I grafted. Pieces from that one. I wanted to do that because I had, when I found some limbs that were alive, if I pruned it, if I wanted to graft it now, I couldn't take it from the mama tree because there's nothing left. So I took it before I pruned it. And normally I would use, I'm going to have to buy some white tape. But that's all I got to graft this year. Yeah. They just went up and transplanted it. over to the other side of the orchard. I'm gonna take them boards back with me in case I don't come back tomorrow. Otherwise I have to raise the fence up anyway. There goes my brother, he's moving bales. He moved all those bales that were over here by the gate, and he's doing something down there too. Okay, let's get out of here first. Okay, let's get out. I'm gonna go on the left side of that tree this time. And I got this one done. The little bitty one over there, I got that done. That don't pick. And now I got the mama tree done. And I got this one done over here. So I still got, and I got half of that one done. I still got that one. There's very much on that one. That one's probably the biggest one. I'll probably do that one next. Although I already started that one. So I'll probably finish that one first. Then I'll do this one. I'll save that little one for last. Traffic. There's my brother walking on the road. Maybe he's coming over to see what I'm doing. Probably. Okay, I'm done out here today. If it don't rain, I'll come back tomorrow. See what I can do tomorrow. Get this done. Yeah. I think this will help the pears. Helps me too when it comes time to pick them. Looks like my niece's husband is coming home. You know, it's 5:25, almost 5:30. The sun should be going down over there, but it's so cloudy and hazy. I won't be able to see it today. All right, it's time to go home. I'm done here. My brother closed the gate for me, so that's good. Yeah, he's got clover and 20 acres of this over here somewhere on this side. And that wheat, he just sowed it. He spread it sometime this February 14th, he said. All right, I gotta go home now. I took it out of 4-wheel drive, so I didn't forget. Almost home. Home. Nobody down here. Must be up by the bale in the barn. So check mail on the way with the truck. Let's see. Oh, no mail. It's easy to close. Open and close. Let's park the truck. Maybe tomorrow before I go over to the farm to trim some more pear trees out. I think I'll drive out to the big basher if it don't rain. That is, if it don't rain. Yeah, I'm glad I was able to trim them this year. They were way too tall. Out of control. Right back where I started from. It's 5:45. Sun's been down already. But you can't tell. It'll be down over there somewhere. No sunset tonight. Or today. Another look at the trees I trimmed yesterday and the day before. There's that old heifer. I'm sure hoping she gets bred by that new young white bull. I'd like to see a calf out of her, and the other two too. Not much wind blowing today, right now. Pretty calm. I should have planted more fruit trees around here instead of that oak. I don't think it warmed up much today, Kurt. I didn't feel any warmth. And still 34, so it's above freezing. I don't think I should I should dump the rain gauge just to be sure. I don't want it breaking if it gets below freezing tonight. This is the 3/8 rain from last night. I better dump it in case it gets cold. And if it rains tonight, well, then I'll know how much I got. I'm going to leave the rain gauge up in case it does rain. Yeah, it's just about 6 p.m. Starting to get dark already. Been like this all day, misty. I could feel it. I could feel the moisture in the air. I thought it was raining this afternoon when I was working on the trimming at the farm, but it's only a few drops. I'll check the radar when I go in.